But first, our exciting Corey Hart Hits a Million contest.
Hi, this is Corey Hart, and I've been fortunate enough to achieve diamond status in Canada with my album, Boy in the Box. And what means the most to me is the fact that you guys out there are directly responsible for me doing that. So I'd like to thank you for giving me that honor, and now Samantha's going to talk to you about something.
Congratulations, Corey, and thank you.
Hart, and one of the first interviews I ever did in Canada was on Good Rockin' Tonight. So I was very honored when the guys from Good Rockin' asked me to do a 90-minute special on just me. And I wanted to get some things in the show that you guys haven't seen before, some home footage and some shots of me in different parts of the world, and some exciting stuff, some boring stuff, and also wanted to introduce you to the members of my band, and you can hear from them stuff that I haven't even heard about yet. So hope you have a good time, and I'm really happy to be doing this, and here's Good Rockin' Tonight. When I toured Canada this past summer, a lot of people interviewed me, and one of the interviews I did was in Toronto with a journalist named Greg Quill, and I really enjoyed talking with him, so I asked him if he'd like to interview me on this Good Rockin' Tonight show.
You're at the end of a massive tour, something that's become a juggernaut in a way. The thing has snowballed. You just won a Diamond Award for 1 million record sales in your own country. What has touring on that scale and selling that number of tickets and records changed you? How has it changed you? What have you learned?
Well, I think when I was starting out, I used to think about what it would be like to play for 15,000 people that have come to see me play. And when I started out touring, I was an opening act. And I remember going out there and feeling 15 minutes into the set how the crowd was getting impatient for me to get off, and how it would sort of bother me, and I'd say, well, it's to be expected. I think that the greatest thing that I look back on over the year in terms of my touring is the fact that I feel I've come as close to being a part of my fans and being a part of the public that support me as I've ever been.
And as you've ever dreamed, because you told me once that was the one thing that you wanted to accomplish as a performer, was to bridge the distance between the stage and the audience. You've done that. What is there to do now?
Well, well, I think that I've gotten a touch of it and a taste of what it feels like to do that. I think that it's up to me to go further and reach beyond that and always try and perfect that. Because I don't think it's something that you can fabricate. I think it's something that just comes very, very natural, and something that's very sort of instinctive. My whole thinking for the future is in terms of improving what I do and continuing, what I love doing.
heard that it was while you were in New York, you saw an advertisement in Billboard or something for Aquarius Records based in Montreal. And
Exactly.
Is that how it
yeah,
happened?
that's exactly what happened.
I said, go back to Montreal.
Yeah, I better go back home then. Well, I went, I spent about 6 months in New York, and I played in a couple of clubs there, and did some songwriting and worked with some musicians, and I felt I needed to do some more work before I really went to see some record companies. So I came back home, but I did see the ad, and I stored it away in the back of my head. Wow, there's a record company in Montreal, my hometown.
And that's how it began, eh? That's great. And they told me at Aquarius Records that you came complete. I mean, there was no work to be done. You had the look, you had the songs, you had the demos, you had the...
Well, there's a lot of work to be done. The greatest thing that they possibly could have given me was the freedom to do it. Mm-hmm. And that was the sole reason that I signed with them. I was fortunate enough when I came back to Canada, I went to see some other companies, and I had some other offers, but I signed with Aquarius because I felt they would give me the freedom to make my own road, and that's very important. Bob Raggs has been my manager for about two years now, and maybe 1.5. And I met him when I signed at Aquarius Records, and he doesn't like to talk to the press or do television, and I quite admire that in him. We're very close, and my success is largely attributed to his belief and his support of me.
I first met Corey at Aquarius Records a few years ago when he first came in with a demo tape, having seen an advertisement in New York on our label. My initial impression was not so much of his music, but of the character of the young personality that I first met, and that's what attracted me to Corey originally at the time.
So Corey came into Aquarius Records and waited until he could meet the president of the company, Terry Flood. And Terry was just leaving, and he spoke with him for a short time and suggested that he should be talking to me instead. So Corey came in. It was about 6 o'clock, and I think we talked for about an hour. And I was quite impressed with him. He came back a number of other times. When he first came in, he had about 3 tapes with him, and he'd bring 3 more and 3 more. He'd had them all prepared, but he didn't want to bring in too much at once. And from those first meetings, I was very impressed with Corey. I wanted very much for Corey to be on Aquarius Records.
I became responsible for negotiating Corey's contract with Aquarius, and from time to time I had the occasion of speaking to Corey, and we sort of started a relationship, which later on he sort of asked me if I'd be interested in managing him, at which point I resigned from my duties in Aquarius Records to do something that I felt I would never get the chance again, and the likes of Corey only come around once every 30 years.
Well, the first time I encountered the name Corey Hart was in writing my column for the Montreal Gazette, and I just happened to stumble on the fact that a young Montrealer, at that time, I guess 21 years of age, was suddenly going over to England to record an album in Pete Townshend's studio with Eric Clapton somehow finishing in on guitar. And I said, well, that's got to be a heck of a break for a young Montreal kid who no one has ever heard of, who's never appeared on a Montreal stage, who no one in Montreal knows outside of his own house. And so I looked into it, and I found that, you know, the Billy Joel connection and that, and the Paul Anka connection, the people who had encouraged him along the way. I heard his demo tape as he went to England and said, sounds promising, but I had never met the young man. Then came the day I met the young man, and I was floored. I happened to be out at Aquarius Records working on another project with them, and Corey arrived back from England with his master tape. And I'd heard the material, and I'd heard the demo, but I'd never met the young man. And when I met him, it blew me away.
I like Corey Hart because he's a very good singer and he makes great songs. And my favorite song is Sunglasses at Night. Hi, Corey. I also love Corey Hart. My favorite song is Cheap Sunglasses, and he's super.
He's a great entertainer. Sunglasses at Night.
He's from Montreal, and I think he's a great Canadian artist. And I'm very proud to be a Montrealer and to have someone of his nationality represents our city?
Because he's a good singer and sunglasses at night.
Very, very sexy.
I like Corey because he's sexy, get a nice bump and everything, and he sings good.
And the winner for the first ever Video Juno Award is... Champagne Pictures, Rob Quartley, Corey Hart, Sunglasses at Night!
Thing to say about working with Corey is that he's got so much energy, he's got so much input, and after Sunglasses, our working relationship was super. He's learned more and more about film and should probably be directing himself fairly soon. He's got great creative ideas and tons of energy, the ingredients that make it happen, basically.
As far as film is concerned, you know, it's something now that I'm asked so frequently that I do think about it in my spare time, whereas I may not have done it about a year ago. I'm working on a screenplay. When I say working on it, I write down ideas that I have for a screenplay, and they're you know, a very early stage of it, and I can't devote enough time to it right now because of the touring and the fact that I have another album to record. But when that's finished, I think that my next project will be one in film, and it will be one in which hopefully I will have had my hand in the writing of it.
All right. Just the writing? I mean...
well, I'll give it a shot, the acting.
Well, that's a given.